Oh, no, no, no. No, no, no. We drive.
Oh, I
all
don't
the
like
way
these
through,
kinds of
okay?
drives.
Yes,
Now, my
seriously.
next don't for
I
you
have
when you
to
come
stop
here
after
is
every 2-3 hours.
don't think that the sticker price.
Hey
Hey,
guys,
guys.
it's the Loud Guys. Today we are going to react to the don'ts of visiting the United States of America. So, like, have you visited the United States of America?
No, not at all, of course.
Yes, similarly, I also haven't. But yes, because of your love, we are planning to visit someday because many people in the comments have said to us that you should visit someday and you should visit and you should enjoy all the things that we have and all the culture and all the things that we see in our videos. You should also enjoy it
Yes.
live. So, I'm very, very excited someday that I'll visit. So, this video cropped up in front of me that the don'ts of visiting the United States of America. So, every country has these kinds of things that
Yes,
don't do these
don't do
things
this.
in like if in India, if we talk about in India, what are those things
The
like?
religious things that you
Yeah.
cannot this or you cannot that, and
Like-
that superstitions.
Yes, like in America, you can make fun of Jesus. I've seen many people making fun of Jesus and talking about it, but you cannot do that in India. You cannot say anything very funny about or anything literally marginally funny about our religion or somewhere because you might get hurt.
Even
with
if
it.
a person says like in sarcastically, in sarcasm, or in in a joking way, if he say, even if he says something, there will be a huge
Consequences.
yes, consequences of that people do not just tolerate anything opposite against their religion over here in India. So let's watch that what are the don'ts of USA. Like, we have seen a lot of video regarding that interesting facts about USA and what all USA have in defense, in army, everything. So now let's watch it out, that what is there that we cannot do in USA, so that if we visit there, so we'll have that thing in mind.
Also, thank you so much for love and your support, and also you can support us on our Patreon page. Link is in the description box below. So let's watch this video.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're in Mystic, Connecticut, in a beautiful place here in the U.S. And today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting the U.S. because anywhere you go in the world, there's things you should do, but there's also things you shouldn't do. And this video is going to just cover the U.S. in general, okay? And our first don't for when you visit the U.S. is don't touch the Americans.
What?
Look, Americans really like their personal
Okay,
space.
invading
it's
the
like they have
personal
a
space.
bubble around them, and if you get too close to them,
Okay, right.
they feel very, 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 very uncomfortable, okay? So make sure you give them a little distance when you are there, you know, because I know when I go to Italy and Spain and
India,
stuff,
it is
like,
not the
Mark,
case.
how's it going, all this stuff, and my American
It
friends
is
sometimes
with
go,
some
wow, they're
people.
really,
Yeah.
really affectionate. Like, that's just how it is. Here, space is key. The second don't I have for you is don't count on public transportation. Look, when we were in China and we were in throughout Europe and South America, we took buses and trains and planes and all kinds of stuff to get all over the place because public transport is really developed. Here in the U.S., you cannot count on public transport to get you a lot of places.
Oh.
Yes, in big cities like New York and Chicago and stuff like that, you can get around with public transport and it'll take you where you want to go. But a lot of towns,
So
small
there aren't
towns
a lot of
especially, and
trains in
middle-sized
US?
cities, the public
Trains or even
transportation
public
networks are not
transport,
very
like
good.
road
And at night,
transport.
sometimes it's not very safe. So that is kind of a frustrating thing. So yes, you're going to probably have to rent a car when you come here,
Yes,
okay?
it's kind of
So just have a
frustrating
heads up for that. And that kind of leads into the next don't I have for you is don't underestimate the size of the U.S.
Obviously.
The United States, it's, continental U.S. is like continental Europe.
Yes.
It's huge. I mean, would you
Huge.
think of driving from, I'm going to do, go to from Lisbon to Paris and then go up to Tallinn and then head down to Sofia? No, you're like, that is insanely far. It's the same thing when you come to the U.S.
Yeah.
I meet a lot of travelers that are like,
3,000 kilometers,
I'm going
Chicago
to
to
fly
Los
into
Angeles.
New York, grab a car, drive down to Miami to see Miami Beach, then head over to L.A. I'm like, dude, you got 2 weeks? You're going to spend the entire time in cars. The distances here are insane. So what I
Yes, it
recommend is picking a region. So, we're going to stay here in New England and see New England. Or we're going to go in the southeast, go to Atlanta and Savannah and Charleston, things like that. Or visit the West Coast. You do
Okay.
that to get a better idea of the culture there and things like that. But also,
So
it's
you
just
cannot
a
visit all
logistics
of
thing
America
because
at
it's so
once?
far between the places.
Obviously not.
And to
Even
go
you
along
cannot
with
visit
that,
India
for
at once.
Americans,
Yeah.
a 3 to 4 hour drive, that's a day trip. Like, my parents live 3 hours away. I will literally get up, go drive, have lunch with my mom, and then drive back home just for lunch. 6 hours in the car. No big deal. It's about 7 hours when we start to think, that kind of is a long drive. And we drive the entire way through. Okay, this isn't like, I must stop every 2 hours and have a 15-minute break. Oh, no, no, no. No, no, no. We drive.
Oh, I
all
don't
the
like
way
these
through,
kinds of
okay?
drives.
Yes,
Now, my
seriously.
next don't for
I
you
have
when
to
you come
stop
here
after
is
every 2-3 hours.
don't think that the sticker price, is the end price.
What?
Look, in the U.S. we have sales tax. I know other countries they have
Even we
VAT,
have seen
value-added
there's an
taxes.
interesting fact
They're
about
Yes.
put
this.
into the price of products. So when you see, oh, it's $1 or €1, oh, I only pay €1. In the U.S., it is not like that. We have sales tax, so a certain percentage is added onto that product. And the thing is, I cannot tell you what the sales tax will be where you're going to travel because it's different everywhere. Cities, states, counties, different products
boy,
have
Sati,
different
what
sales
sales tax?
taxes. And some products don't have sales taxes. Some cities don't have sales taxes. Some have 10% sales tax.
Oh.
It can be different anywhere you go. So if you're going to go get your dollar menu item at a McDonald's or a Culver's or a wherever, it's not going to be $1. Where I live, there's 2 cities right by where I live. One, it's going to be $1.08. The other one, it's going to be $1.09. So be ready for that. And it's not just the sales tax. Also, there could be the tipping on top. And that leads us into the 5th don't, and that is don't forget to tip. Look, in the U.S., you tip 15 to 20%
That
at
is
a
very
sit-down
big thing.
restaurant.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, now McDonald's
15,
stuff like that.
20%.
You don't tip at a fast food place, but if it's a sit-down restaurant where they bring you your food and stuff like that, you will tip them 15 to 20%. If you are in a group of 6 people or more, sometimes they automatically put the gratuity on there, which
Wow.
sometimes can be 18% or something like that. Look, when you come
My
to the
God.
U.S., there's a reason why the food is like so affordable. You're like, wow, it's cheap to go out and eat in the U.S. It's because there's kind of this understanding that the service fees and paying for the workers and the waitresses and stuff like that, that goes on to you, the person eating there, with the
Yes.
tips. So the food and stuff can be cheaper when you go out to eat. And I know a lot
that
of
is
people
not
say,
kind
I don't
of
believe in
right.
tipping, and this tipping isn't the right thing. They should pay their people more. Well,
Yes.
if you want to pay more for your food, they can do that. But they don't, okay? So tipping is something we do here in the U.S., so do tip that 15 to 20%. Oh, also, if you're at a bar and you're buying drinks, you're going to want to tip a couple dollars here and there. Otherwise, the bartender might not be too quick to come back and get you your next drink.
Oh.
So following off of those tips, what you need to realize is our next don't is don't be freaked out by the over-the-top service and free stuff you sometimes get in the U.S. Look, because of tipping and commissions and stuff like that, yes, there is a lot of over-the-top service here. But the thing is, in the U.S., the people actually are pretty nice, and they want to help people. And sometimes for some travelers, if they come from countries where people don't get a lot of service sometimes, it can be a bit much, so don't freak out about it. Also with that is don't be freaked out with some of the free stuff you get when you go to restaurants. Look, if you go to a restaurant and they bring you bread and water or chips and salsa and all those really good things, that's included in your meal. Okay, so if you're going to be buying something, they're going to give you some free stuff. It might be some
Free
bread, it
handcuffs
might
if
be
you
a
drink it,
salad, it
right?
might be water, it might be something like that. So don't be like shocked when like, wait, I didn't order this bread, I didn't order this salad. Oh no, that comes with your meal, okay? Now, the
Nice.
thing is, though,
Complimentary
you
things
can't
are
just
always
go in
good.
and get chips and salsa and walk out, all right? You actually have to order some food when you go there. Now, my next don't for you is don't smoke cigarettes in the U.S.
What?
If you're smoking cigarettes in the U.S., people will look at you like you're trying to kill their baby.
But that's so
Cigarettes
nice.
is like
I've
totally
seen in the
verboten, like
movies.
people really frown upon it, which is funny because when they talk about marijuana and stuff like that, people don't seem to care as much. But cigarettes, oh, you're trying to kill my baby with that cigarette 2 blocks away. So if you do smoke, make sure you try to find a place where you can smoke because a lot of restaurants, or pretty much all restaurants, hotels, stuff like that have smoke-free. It's smoke-free, so you have to go like 15 to 20 feet away from doing things. So that
That's
can
nice
be something.
for
So
people
I've come
around
here
there.
outside my favorite liquor store to give you the next don't, and that is don't try to buy alcohol unless you're 21 or cigarettes unless you're 18 or over in the U.S. They will not sell them to you. And the thing is, don't forget your ID because if you look like you're 40 or under, they may ask you for that. And don't get mad at them because if they don't ask, they could get in trouble and get fined. So don't be surprised because we've had friends that have come here, try to buy alcohol, and they're like, sorry, you don't look old enough. Oh, I don't have my ID. Too bad. And the thing is, it's not just the person buying. They might ask anybody with you, so make sure everybody has their ID.
Oh,
If they
so
wanna
that
buy
is a
liquor,
good rule.
or they want to buy, they want to buy
But
alcohol.
is it
or they wanna
followed?
buy
Because in
cigarettes.
India
So
it is
just
not followed.
FYI on that one. Oh, that's also another don't I have for you is don't bother with a metric system when you come here.
Oh.
We don't use, we don't use
Kilometers,
meters. We don't
liters,
use
no.
kilometers. We don't use liters. It is inches, feet, miles, gallons,
Why?
pounds, things
so
like
simple.
that. And I'll put a
Even he is
conversion chart here to show you. But honestly, you may say, hey, how far is it to this next town? And they'll tell you, oh, it's like 60 miles.
Yes.
You're like, what's that? just know 60 miles, it's about 100 kilometers, okay? So just do that because the people here won't get it. I mean, I have people, when I'll tell them, oh, it's 100 meters away, they're like, 100 meters? It's like 100 yards. Oh, okay. So make sure you do know your imperial system, okay? Because metric, we don't do that so much here. So our next don't is when you do come to the U.S., there's a couple things you don't talk about, okay? One is gun control, and two is politics, because no matter where you are, you will get people on either side of the spectrum, and they will have an argument with you. So it's best just to lay off those topics, talk about the
politics
weather.
is same in
Wouldn't
India
it be
too.
nicer if it was
That's
sunny
what I was
today?
thinking.
We could go sailing? Yes, that would be much better than discussing gun control or politics. Just putting that one out there for you right now.
Even
My
though
next
guns
note
are a
for you is
very big
don't
issue in
assume
US.
that all the U.S. and all the Americans are the same. Because I know a lot of people say, oh, you're a typical American. Well, it's like saying you're a typical European. Look, the U.S. has all kinds of different cultures, all kinds of different people, all kinds of different topography and
Grand
scenery
Canyon.
and stuff like that. And when you come here, don't assume it's all the same. You will see regional differences in cuisines and how people treat each other and how everything looks, all kinds of stuff. So don't just think there's just one kind of American. They're all fat, slobby guys with ponytails. No, there's actually a lot of skinny people in America too, not just fat guys like me and my buddy Jeff.
No, he looks cute.
There are those. So don't assume it's all the same, all right? So do go out and explore. And that's why I always say is if you're going to come to the U.S., go and explore different regions because you'll get a really different feel. Because going to the southeast and seeing the plantation homes and going to see the southern towns down there versus going to the northwest and Seattle and Portland or going to San Francisco or going to the Midwest with Chicago and Milwaukee, you're going to have a very different feel, which is really a cool thing.
Very
to do. You start to
vibrant
understand
culture,
is, wow,
like India
the
has.
US does have a
India.
lot of different cultures within it and a lot of different feelings when you go around here. And following on with that, I guess I would say another don't is don't assume there's no culture in the U.S.
What?
because there are a lot of cultural centers out there. If you go down to New Orleans, you see a very rich culture there. You go to New York or Boston. Here in New England, you have a very distinct culture. In the Midwest with Chicago, Milwaukee, you go to the West
Because
Coast.
America
and there's
was
a lot of
discovered
different
very recently,
culture
according
here.
to all the
Historic
history.
culture with the Native Americans or more recent culture here. I mean, you have all that here. You can really take in. And saying there's no culture in the U.S., it's not really true because there are all these different cultural centers with great museums like the Art Institute of Chicago or the Met in New York, the Getty in LA. There's all kinds of stuff you can see and do when you are here. For a cultural trip, it's not just
What
seeing
is that
beautiful
girl doing?
landscapes and seascapes like we are here in Connecticut. There's a lot more to it than that. Now, my next don't for you is one that I kind of get a lot of questions about. We actually have a video on this, and then that is, don't think that how are you or how's it going is actually a question. Look, when we say how's it going, how are you, these kind of things in the U.S., it's not a question, it's a
They
statement. It's like
don't
saying
wait for an
hi.
answer.
Okay, just take it as a hi. Because a lot of people say this, everyone asks me how I'm doing. When I
Yeah,
try to tell them
that's-
how I'm feeling,
So
they're
if
like,
I'm in
"Well,
US,
was
somebody
just
asks me
saying,
how are you, I should not respond
Here,
to.
how are you is just hi. Think of it
just
that
a
way. It's
hi.
like
How
in
are you?
France. Ça va? Ça va. How's it going? How's it going? We're good to go. In Portuguese, tudo bem, everything good. You answer back, tudo bem, everything good. It's just, how are you? How are you? You move on, okay? So don't think it's an
are
actual
you?
question, all right?
How are you?
Now, another don't I have for you is don't expect a lot at the fancy hotels. You know, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to pay more money for this hotel. I'm probably going to get nicer stuff, like a nicer breakfast, better Wi-Fi. Oh, no, 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 no.
That should be.
For some reason in the U.S., it seems like the nicer the hotel, the more you have to pay for the things you think would be free, like Wi-Fi and breakfast. So
Very
don't
bad.
feel like you have to stay at the fancy hotels, because honestly, if you're going to be going out and exploring, you just need a couple beds, right? So stay at the hotels in the U.S., and the cheaper ones will give you free Wi-Fi, free breakfast, all these kind of things, which is really nice, so don't expect that from the fancy hotels.
That is very bad.
Another don't I have for you is
Then why will someone
don't
pay that
skip
much?
out on the local food. Look, we're here in New England. We're here in Connecticut. We've been having lobster and clams and oh my
Oh.
god, the New England clam chowder. Oh, my tummy is just like more. It's fantastic. When I'm in the South, man, Southern fried chicken, mac and cheese, barbecue. Oh my God, the
Are you
food in
getting
the
water in
different
your
regions
mouth?
in the U.S. are great. So don't just go to chain restaurants. When you go to your hotel, ask them, hey, what's some local restaurants around here? What's some locally owned and operated restaurants? So you can
Wow.
go there and check out those places because they really give you a great experience. And I find a lot of times those ones actually have better service than the chain restaurants because it's a mom and pop place where the owners are the ones helping you out. And that is really kind of a cool thing. Now, my next don't
Looks
for you is
really nice.
don't get sick. Look, Healthcare in the U.S. is insanely
Very
expensive.
high, oh.
And just because you come from another country doesn't mean they're not going to find you for the bill. All right? So if you're going to be coming here, make sure you get travel insurance or trip insurance so in case you do get sick or you do break an ankle or you do break an arm or something happens to you, your insurance will cover it. Now, you might have to
My
pay it
God.
first and your insurance pays you back, but at least you'll get something back because healthcare here in the U.S. is insanely expensive, okay?
Which is
So
not
make sure you're prepared
a
for
good
that.
thing.
Yes.
And I guess my last don't I'm going to have for you is one that people actually got mad at me for when I lived in other countries when I told them the U.S. has 50 states. And they said, no, the U.S. has 52 states. Look, don't think the U.S. has 52 states. The U.S. has 50 states, okay? Just a heads up on that one. I'm sure that people are going to be commenting down below that when I was in school, they told me 52. No, there's 48 on the mainland, and then Alaska and Hawaii are 49 and 50, all right? So those are our don'ts for visiting the U.S. What are
Nice.
some of the don'ts you have for the U.S.? Because I know there's more out there. I just want to get some of these out there to help out travelers heading to the U.S. just so we can get things going.
There's a lot of things to take care of when you go to US, and you have to see this video. You have to know this thing that okay, you cannot do all these things, but actually some things I even liked, that alcohol and cigarettes are not allowed to people,
In
to
public
kids.
areas.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
kids and in public area also. So yeah, that's a very good thing. Like people like me really get annoyed when a person near me smokes, because I just don't like that smell of smoking. So it's better that the country has places has a different area to smoke, and even that alcohol thing that you cannot buy it before 21. So that's a good thing as well, and they ask for ID card as well. So what's better than that? But some things that I don't like is healthcare is expensive. So people do get sick, okay, people do have accidents or something happens to people. So like what if they are not they are not ready to afford such health care? So what if?
Yeah, that is the major case, and the thing is, like he told that you should get a trip insurance before visiting USA, and like these things did not make me like I don't want to go to US. Still want to go
Yeah.
US, and I still
It's
want
just
to
a
enjoy
knowledgeable
USA.
video.
Yeah, it was a very knowledgeable video, and the personal space thing was like very relatable because I also don't like people invading my personal space. But in India, there are many people that do not care about personal space. Like we meet and like oh, like not friends and all, but also public also. Like if there is something happening in around, and everybody will get so close to you, and what is happening?
Right.
Oh, what is happening?
Right.
In India, this is a very big case. So do let us know. Like in America, if there is an incident, do people also like gather together and like start looking what is happening? Oh, what is happening? And the thing is, all the other things like the local food thing is also like relatable
much
in India too.
relatable,
Yeah, because in
seriously.
India too, if you have not hidden like I've seen many American movies and many American things. People telling that oh, whenever we eat Indian street food, then we get diarrhea and all of these things. I don't think so. That should be the case because like if you want to enjoy Indian food, you should eat like Indian street
You
food.
have to eat, like you cannot just you cannot just miss street food of India. And so much of things were relatable, like you should not talk about politics.
Yeah.
So it is really the case in India as well. It is just that even in India, if you talk against any political matter, so you might get even killed. We have
Yeah.
seen a lot of cases in the news recently. So yeah, even in the family or in friend circle or any place like that, I just personally avoid, talking about politics, because obviously there are people on both the sides, on either side. So you just should not get into such an argument.
Yes, and also that the US is very big. You have to go like a long way to reach another places. It is not like Europe. So it was mainly like targeting European audience, telling them, oh, don't you think that you are coming from a small like continent and you can visit here and go to each and every place in the US. So this was a very informative video, and I liked it a lot. And I would like to do these things a lot. And also the tipping part, like 50 to 20% tipping. That is a huge amount. Like if you get $1,000 to eat, so like you have to tip about $200. So that is a huge amount to tip. But yeah, if it is a rule, you have to follow it. And if we are going to America, then we are also going to tip. So we'll see what happens. And how did you guys find this video? Do let us know in the comment section below. So do like, share, and
Subscribe to our channel.
bye.